might have bumped into them,
It was really good money.
I have to carry up this burden.
interacted with them,
They might be uncomfortable.
I feel a lot like loneliness.
or even worked with them.
I honestly don't think that we have it easy.
The rising of costs is just something that we couldn't expect.
But do we really see them? What are they hiding? This is Beyond Plain Sight.
I like that my job is free and easy, and don't need to look at those bosses' faces, your colleague faces.
I think I like about this job because I get to meet more people.
I can work in the morning, then do my own things in the afternoon, then work at night again.
Even you don't hit your target, nobody will scold you.
They give me the flexibility of working hours.
The earnings was pretty good. So I was training to be a DJ, but when COVID happened, I kind of gave up on that dream. This is a SB2 lah, so it's quite an outdated one. There's newer ones, but this is like a basic DJ set lah. So 200 plus lah. I actually got this in December, so I got it for 1.66k. So far it's pretty good, I would say. Better than the previous bike lah. I spent on food and also going overseas. The most recent one was Jakarta and Bali lah. Yeah, so these are the plane tickets. I actually went there for a music festival with a bunch of friends lah. So we went there for around a week. I also spent on like my computer accessories. This one is pretty new lah. The previous one I was using was a laptop, but this one is more of a gaming computer lah. I feel like I wouldn't be able to actually afford all these things if I didn't have a job as a food delivery rider.
This is what this aspiring DJ actually does for a living. Food delivery. He is one of the 73,000 platform workers in Singapore.
Anyone can do this, no qualifications needed. I just started my shift, because it's a little bit too late. Usually I start at 11, but it's been raining pretty heavily. Because it rained, so they actually gave us a surge fee, so extra $2 per order. 1797. Thank you. So I actually received the stack order. Luckily, it's not too far away from each other. Usually, stack orders like that, they try to give from the same restaurant, especially for Foodpanda. So, yep, the order's about 2 km apart, so it's pretty decent. I'm delivering my first order right now. So that was actually pretty quick. It was like a 1 km ride. After this order, I'll be sending to about 2 km away. So these two orders I will have earned already $15. Yep. So usually for Foodpanda we have to send proof of delivery. So that is to ensure that the food is actually properly sent to the customer lah. And also to avoid any repercussions such as the order went missing or whatsoever. I feel like it is possible to earn $25 per hour in my zone. But maybe it differs in other areas such as Woodlands, Yishun. I just have to do 3 orders. And the order rate is pretty good over my area. I'm waiting for my 3rd order right now, so it might take a while. Currently, the rain surge extra $2 is still ongoing until 12:30. So I have another 2-3 minutes to get a new order. I hope I can get one. Currently, I'm drinking an energy drink. So to be honest, my orders for the day have been really good. So I sent 7 orders, and I'm gonna collect my last order and send it to right behind my house, so it's actually convenient. So yeah, after this order, I would have earned around $50. So it's really good for a lunch shift. One reason why I don't only do Foodpanda is because Now there's so many riders in Foodpanda. So definitely the amount of orders that I'm getting compared to maybe 6 months ago is much lesser. And the other problem is that Foodpanda is a shift system. So you cannot just switch on your app and work. You need to book the shift beforehand. So now I'm facing a problem, which is I'm unable to find shifts, or I'm unable to find shifts that are long enough. I can only find shifts that's like 1.5 hours. Then what am I going to do for the next 1 hour or something? I probably have to do Grab. So I will turn on my Grab app after my Foodpanda shift is done. So I've been doing this for 3 years. Because of COVID, previously I was working as a bartender, and clubs, bars all shut down. So you have nowhere else to work. So when I saw an opportunity for working as a delivery rider, took it.
Food delivery platforms saw a spike in rider sign-ups during the pandemic. Reports like this were common. Delivery riders earning big bucks, some as much as 8,000 Singapore dollars a month. Sounds like a great job, right? That's what I want to find out from Member of Parliament Yeo Wan Ling. She represents an association that was set up end of 2020, just as online deliveries were surging during the pandemic. But of late, she's been championing their grievances.
There's some reports out there of riders earning like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month. How accurate is this in terms of a reflection of what is really out there?
It's the number of hours that they're working to get that. We also hear from our riders that people who are getting that amount of money are working above 15 hours, 16 hours in a day.
So by starting this association, is that because they felt there was a need out there?
We do see, right, that this is actually a job that many Singaporeans are keen to take up. If you look at what a freelancer or a self-employed definition is previously, well, you would have complete control on your working conditions. You kind of decide how much you want to charge, you kind of decide when you want to work and all that. But it's kind of different right now with the evolving platform business models. If you are a delivery rider working with one of the platforms, you kind of not really have a say in how much you earn because platforms do exert some form of management control over them.
Right, so you are your own boss, but you're not really your own boss.
Yeah, that's right.
How often do you hear from riders, complaining about having an inconsistent income?
This would be one of the top grievances that they have. Essentially, right, is about the non-transparency from the platforms on how much they're earning. A lot of times, right, their take-home component is actually made out of 2 parts. So the first part is actually on what they do every day. So we are looking at a base rate.
Right.
Yeah. So like for every gig that I take on, I expect how much to come in. But sometimes that changes depending on whether the base rate changes. So another part of their take-home is actually incentives. And so what are incentives? So incentives, right, vary, right, I would say like via seasons, campaigns and all that. So a very good example, for instance, it could be that the platform finds out that, we want more people to be ordering during lunchtime. Okay. And because of this, right, let's put in a month-long campaign where if our riders take on a certain gig during lunchtime, they get like 2 times the benefits. So things like that. And I think, right, what happens is incentives come and go with seasons. And because of this, right, it's a big fluctuation for many of our riders. And that's why at the end of the month, unlike salaried employees, our platform riders don't really know at the end of the day, right, how much they're taking back for that number of hours that they're working.
I'm about to find out how hard Steven has to hustle to earn what he does.
I'll be starting my shift now because the search period has started at 6 o'clock. So yeah, I'm waiting for my first order now. Yep, totally accepting this. Let's go. Hello, 6672. Hello.
Thank you so much.
It's been about 1 hour 15 minutes. So total I earn about 27, I think.
Data from the three major food delivery platforms in Singapore, Grab, Foodpanda and Deliveroo, shows that the average rider earns between 12 and 18 Singapore dollars an hour. That's more than what a server earns in the F&B industry. But what does it take to make that kind of money?
Hey Steve.
Hey, yo man.
I'm getting the lowdown from Steven in between his shifts.
So how much are you earning now?
So right now I'm working around 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 to 6 times a week, so 2,400.
For those 8 to 10 hours a day, do you have to plan them out, specific times of the day that you have to work?
Yeah, definitely. So because I'm actually juggling between both Grab and Foodpanda
Okay.
during those hours.
Oh, so you switch every now and then?
Yep, correct. I'll book a shift, and depending on what kind of time slot I get, maybe something like 11 to 1.
Okay.
So I'll work 2 hours for Foodpanda and then another hour for Grab.
I see. And do the platforms pay differently during different
Oh yes,
times of the day?
For Grab, you get the most earnings from like 10 to 12 o'clock.
Okay.
And then for Foodpanda, you get the most earnings from 11 to 1.
But what's the most you've ever earned
I would say the most I've ever earned was 4,000.
in a month?
Yeah, but that was when the incentives were much easier to be met. The criteria
I see.
especially. So what actually happened was that there came a point of time where Foodpanda actually introduced something called actual versus planned hours for their
Okay.
shifts. So it will mean that to qualify for the incentive, let's say a rider books around 40 hours worth of shifts a week,
Yeah.
they have to hit 95% of the clocked hours. So it's something
Okay.
like a clock in, clock out
Right,
system
right.
for most people who work
Okay.
8 to 5. Yeah, so it's something like that.
So how significant are incentives and surge pricing in what you earn?
It's a very big difference.
Yeah.
For me to work during the surge period, let's say from 11 to 1, I'll be getting maybe like $6, $6.50 per order. But if I were to work on those non-surge periods, I'll be only earning around $4 plus. That's
Okay.
for Foodpanda.
Right.
So for Grab is also around the same gauge.
Okay.
$2 difference. I will work during the rainy periods because there is definitely an extra surge fee to work under the rain sometimes.
Do you ever worry about your safety on this job?
Definitely one of the thing that I'm very afraid of. I have to be very, very wary of the cars around me,
In fact,
how they are driving.
Have you ever had any accidents?
The most recent encounter was that I actually had to jam brake because a car actually stopped right in front of me.
Right.
And it was just out of sudden, and I actually skid and I actually sprained my ankle.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's the closest I say I have had to an accident. But thank goodness I didn't hit into the guy.
Do you see yourself doing this as a long-term, like forever job?
Maybe for the next 1 to 2 years, yes, but
Okay.
not for the next 10 years. Yeah.
Steven has to hustle hard, and he earns an average $12 an hour. Just to get that amount, he has to toggle between 2 platforms, works 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, rain or shine.
I feel like riding during the rainy weather is more challenging because, the floors are slippery and our bikes actually tend to skid when we brake very too hard. So yeah, I would say that's one of the challenges for delivering during rainy days. And also because it may be a little bit more dangerous on the road.
I could not get the exact statistics of the number of accidents involving food delivery workers. But according to Singapore's Manpower Ministry, for the first half of 2021, 4 out of 6 recorded road accidents involve a delivery rider on duty. Talking Point spoke to a few riders, and main reasons cited are riding during surge pricing period, which is usually during peak periods and when there is bad weather. These bring in more money, but are inherently dangerous, especially when they are rushing to complete an order.
So some of the issues I face is usually when customers actually ask us where is their order, but we are actually waiting for the order, but they actually tell us that, why is my order taking so long? It's been half an hour, you are not moving. But the actual thing is that, we are actually waiting for the order to be still prepared, and it's a bit hard for us to do anything regarding that. So all we can do is actually just to apologize to the customer regarding it.
So if riders want out of this seemingly risky job, how easy is it to do so?
We did a study between July to August 2022. We had 40 of our interviewers go all over the island to reach out to about 1,002 food delivery riders. It was important for us to do this survey because food delivery riders are essential. We wanted to make sure that their welfare was taken care of.
In 2022, Dr. Matthew Matthews and his team conducted the first ever study on platform delivery riders. They found that 2/5 said they would leave the food delivery industry as soon as possible, and more than 1/3 would leave if the new salary is at least $3,000.
What are the career prospects, if any, for this job?
Actually, nearly nothing. Whether you are working on a platform for 10 years or 1 year, pretty much the same skill set, and so you can't really grow on that skill set. Maybe one or two people might grow into some kind of supervisory role, but that's few and far.
How critical is it for them to get out of these jobs?
Well, if you think about the longer term prospect for many who stay in this job. Now, platform riders, for instance, of course, if you're healthy and you're active, you can do this for quite a while, but at some point, quite a few of them do encounter accidents. In fact, quite a few of them need to get medical treatment because of that. And of course, at some stage, your body just will not be able to ride so long and ride hard if you're going to get a sustainable income.
And what would be a long-term impact of staying in this job?
For quite a few of the riders, they might be stuck in a very low socioeconomic status. Over the years, when most people do get increments, do get bonuses, the chances are you will kind of lose and you will get less and less, which again then puts you into that position when you're very, very economically vulnerable.
So they're stuck in a cycle.
They are stuck in a cycle, and also just another important point is that very often, if your life revolves around platform work, it tends to then your social context to also become people in that platform economy. You don't have the regular kind of social context that people have, which normally give them opportunities to get into other kinds of better opportunities, better work. We need all those contexts to help us.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought that the environment I'm in on a day-to-day basis, the colleague I have now, one day may become the boss of another company and hire me for a different job. So what then becomes a sustainable platform, a sustainable balance of having some of them, but not too many of them?
Well, I think one, to start off with, platform work, especially delivery work, you should really be work that people engage on a more part-time basis. Maybe you're young and you have schooling, but you've got some time in the middle and you need to make some income. That might be a time to do that. Or maybe you're let off from a job and you need some time to get back a job. So while you're doing some upskilling and training, you also do this, and that kind of generates an income.
The same survey found that 4 in 10 workers worked more than 44 hours a week, the maximum recommended by the Employment Act. Yet, 7 in 10 earn less than $3,000 a month. I can see why this should be a transitional job at best.
So this is actually my side hustle, and my entire business revolves over this engraver. We sell these products that we engrave on Shopee, Carousel. We engrave phone stands, coasters, and also phone holders. So I have an order today on Shopee, so I'll be checking it out.
After 2 years of full-time food delivery work, has Steven called it quits? Or at least partially. He is now doing food delivery only 4 hours a day.
So one of the reasons why I actually transitioned from full-time to part-time is because I wanted to focus on this. It's one of my outlets to one day get financial freedom, I feel. The reason why I actually still do food delivery part-time is it does supplement a good portion of my income for now, and doing it on a part-time basis actually is quite good as I only do work during the surge periods from 11 to 1 and 6 to 8. So that actually generates a good portion of my money. On a good month, this side hustle provides me around $1,000 and it actually helps me to go out more often and also eat better food. Working as a food delivery rider feels a bit stagnant and there's no progression towards the future and I can be forever stuck in the same job.
As Steven has options when it comes to his career. He's young, has a diploma in business management with no family responsibilities. But can the same be said of other riders in the industry? In the next episode, I put myself in the shoes of a delivery rider. The good news is that all I need is an e-bike license.
All that's left to do is for me to take my e-bike mandatory theory test. Says I have 40 minutes to complete it. Let's go! Device speed. Wow, this is a tricky one. And the last one. Yes! I passed! So now that I have my e-bike cert, I'm good to go.
All riders need to be registered with a platform, and you've got to be above 18 years old, so no problem there. Have a registered vehicle, check, and wear protective gear. That's next on Beyond Plain Sight.
There you go.
This is a very serious case.
Oh no.